Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for coming back from this break. Joining us from French, Patrick, an MVP, and he will introduce himself. And without saying any word, the stage is yours, Patrick. Thank you very much for joining us here today for the MVP days.
Thank you, Nati. Thank you. So I am glad to meet you here to introduce a session about how to integrate Power Platform with Microsoft Teams. I will mostly explain this on deploying a real-life business scenario and show how we can remove every mail in such type of business scenario. So let's go. The agenda will be first a short introduction about what I will call the low-code, no-code revolution, which is what are the trends behind the Power Platform. Then we will detail the scenario with a demo, which will be the most part of the session. And then I will summarize with how and why we will integrate with Teams. Using the Power Platform, I mean, and a little bit more about how to learn more about some. I will share some links and some key success factor in how to be successful with the Power Platform. So my name is Patrick Guimonet. I am based in Paris. I am mostly an enterprise solution architect on a day-to-day. This is my day-to-day job to help my customer to build a business solution around Microsoft 365 and using the Power Platform, of course. I love to be speaker and organizer of such international event. So it's a real pleasure to be there with you today. At least virtually online. I hope maybe next year it will be possible to make it physically. For this, we have created an international community called AMS for Azure, Microsoft 365, and SharePoint. And we organize events under this logo and under this brand. You feel free to connect me on LinkedIn or on Twitter or Facebook. And I have been awarded by Microsoft 10 times Microsoft Most Valuable Professional. So my first question to you, if it could be a physical event, I love to ask my attendants, are you from IT or are you from business? The main point here is that whoever you are from IT or business, the most important in any organization to be successful with Microsoft 365 Power Platform is to create a discussion, an exchange, a real exchange between these two parts of the company. Because a business needs IT for enabling some scenarios, some capabilities, and business is also the key point where the solution will be used. And so it's very important that IT and business communicate together. So first part, the low-code, no-code revolution. I like to say that we are once again in a revolution with the introduction of the Power Platform a few years ago, and it is important for every business to understand why it is a revolution. The main question you should ask to yourself, to your organization, is the following. Is your IT able to create new application fast enough to meet the changing business needs that every organization are facing nowadays? It is very important to understand that the business is changing really rapidly and in every direction. Today, we have seen that with COVID crisis, but even before the COVID crisis, we had so many challenges to tackle, and the business needs to be digitalized more and more than ever. And it's very important to be able to create very quickly new apps, new solutions that help the business to follow the rhythm of the business. With traditional development tools, Microsoft made many studies about that. It was clear that traditional development tools and the people able to create such type of tools, it will not be possible to follow the rhythm of the today business. So at Microsoft, they decided to propose a new set of capabilities, a new set of tools that will empower everybody, the business people, IT people, under the control of IT people, and pro developer. We will see that at the end of the session, even as what they call citizen developer, which are not real developer. We are standard people trying to create some apps. So everybody will be should be empowered with very easy to use tools to create new apps and to respond to business needs. So this is how Microsoft is presenting nowadays the Power Platform. We can see on this slide the 4 pillars, the 4 main tools of the Power Platform, which are Power BI for business analytics, Power Apps for application development, Power Automate workflow automation, and Power Virtual Agent for creating intelligent bots. But all these 4 tools are relying on a certain layer of infrastructure. The central one is data connector, and I will explain in the following slide why data is very important in this topic and to get the whole value of the Power Platform. We can also see on this slide a common data service, which has been renamed as Dataverse, which is now called as Dataverse, which is a way to store data in the cloud, without no infrastructure and things like that. And AI Builder, which can be used to increase the capabilities of the tools with artificial intelligence topics. What makes this platform very different from any other development tools or old ways development tools, I could say? This is probably because the change, as it is quoted in this sentence, is everything is coming from the data. We are more and more in a digitalized world, and every action we make on a platform, on any platform, create some data at some point that could be analyzed first. So the first step in creating what we could say a new business process, a modern business process, would be to create some sort of analysis for the data we generate. And using this analysis, we can act on this data with, so analyzing is the role of Power BI by creating a cool report and cool dashboard that help understand what are in our data, what are the insights in our data. Then we can act on the data with the Power Apps tools. And at the end, the idea is to automate the most, if not all, the most part, if not all, the business process. So this is an ongoing process loop to create such a loop, such activities, and we can do that very quickly and very easily with the Power Platform. If we think about data, what are the data? Where are the data? In fact, they can be stored in any business system, like, of course, Office 365, in SharePoint, in OneDrive, in your mails, in Teams. Every part of Office 365 and Microsoft 365 can be used as a source for a digitalized business process. But, and this is one of the main strengths of the Power Platform, Microsoft Platform, Power Platform is that it can be used to connect to other business data, like not at all Microsoft, for example, a Salesforce system or a Twitter account or things like that. So it can be used, and this is once again very powerful. It can be used to connect Microsoft environment and external environment as well. So this is the last slide before the demo part. And I want to show in this slide, in this schema, a typical structure of a low-code application with a client part targeting the user with two main interface, a mobile interface and a web interface. Then we have the business logic. Usually it's embedded in Power Apps or in the Power Automate flows or both. And the data can be stored in the common data service, which has been renamed Dataverse. And it can be as well connected to several other data sources, many data sources, in fact, like SharePoint, like Twitter, and etc. In this example, I will show you, I will demo a typical business case, putting all these steps together. And I have chosen the managing project workflow, which is very typical. Almost every organization should manage project. And the first step of a project is it should be validated. And at some point, project leader should be nominated and things like that. So this is the purpose of our sample. So let's do the process on the slide first to understand the flow of the process. So first, I will be a project requester, and I will create a project request. I will then launch an approval request to ask, for example, my manager, or in the real life, maybe it will be a committee of people who can decide for the company which is a good project, which is a good topic to launch a project on. So in the example, we will have a project approver, and this guy will accept or reject the project, and he will be able to assign a manager. Sorry, on this side. And the project manager, once he will be nominated, will be able to update some project details. For example, he will stay at some point that the project will start and things like that. And all this process has already generated a lot of data. So we will be able to review some report and analyze these reports. And if we analyze some, for example, some delays, if we detect some delays when a project has been created, or when a project manager has been assigned, we can raise some alerts about that. We will show that. So let's go to a project requester. And first, we will go to a SharePoint list or a Microsoft list to create a project request. And then we will show that this will automatically launch an approval request using Power Automate. And we will go to the project approver to see where it goes. So this is the first part of the demo. Sorry. First part of the demo. So I have to find my demo screen here. So here it is. I have here, which I love to present as a process Teams. So this is a space in Teams that you can dedicate to a process, to share a process with a group of people. So everybody, every people who are in these Teams, can access the process. They can access some documentation. They can ask in the publication, they can put some question about the process. Should I do that? Should I do that? You can process. You can put there obviously some documentation, some video, and things like that. So this is the first thing I loved when you embed your process into Teams, is that everything can be put on one place, and you don't have to remember many URLs, many places where people should go. The great things about Teams is that you can use the tab mechanism in Teams. And here I have created some tabs with a number beginning to explain the different phases of my process. So here, the first phase of my project of my process is to create a project request. So I can display everything. Here I have the list of all my project requests, and I can see that we have 3 status. Some of them have already been approved, some of them are still in pending mode, and some of them have been rejected. So let's create a new project request. So I will call it MVP Days Israel. And let's say, for example, we want to buy some new PC. For example, for demo purpose. Okay, I can find here the project type, which is order acquisition. The request date is by default today, so that's fine for me. And I can here put an estimated date. If I want, I can change it. Here I have an example of an integration between Power Apps and a SharePoint list because I have customized the default SharePoint forms to create, for example, here some fields that the end user cannot change. I don't want, for example, here that the requester can be changed. I want that the system record the people who is sending the request. And obviously, I don't want that the requester change the status of his request. It will be a decision to his of the project leader of my manager, for example, in this session, to change that. So here it is. It's as simple as that to create a request, and then I see on my list in SharePoint list that the request has been saved, and the status is obviously pending. I will go now on the other side, on the business. I have to launch the business guys vision to see the business, my manager display. Oh. So on my manager side, this request will generate some an adaptive card in their teams, and it will show them an alert in their team. Sorry for the connection, but it will go. Okay. So if I go in the teams of my manager, which is by default the project request approver, obviously in a real life scenario, I could make a more sophisticated option than sending the request to my manager, but this is a demo, so it's a simple version of what could be the real life. Here, obviously, I have I can see that I have dedicated a channel, especially for this type of approval. So in this example, my manager could be pinged, or he could be connected to this channel, depending of what we want, or which is probably most interesting, a group of people can be connected to this channel. And so the first member of the approval team can go there and probably can click on the approval. Before clicking, I just want to show you another way to see this approval is to go to the Power Automate display. We can go on Power Automate and then have a look on action items. And then my manager can as well have a look here for to get a view of what approval is awaiting him. So in this panel, I can choose the response, or I can reassign, etc. So let's go back to Teams, and here I have my adaptive card, which is a cool way to say to my manager, I have two options to approve or reject. And for example, here the project will be accepted. Okay, for me. And then that's okay. So my manager has not at all been bothered with email or things like that. Everything can stay in Teams, and that's the cool part of the thing. We have just seen that my request has been changed from pending status to approved status directly from here. So that's very cool. I can go to a second SharePoint list, SharePoint space, where I can store some project details information. And before it was approved by my manager, I had no record in this list, in this table. But now, in the same process, in the same Power Automate flow, a new record has been created to save some more detailed information about this project, which once the project has been accepted, it is we need some place to store more information, and it's saved here. Here we have a column stating that the process have no project manager assigned yet, and but we have the date of approbation. So the third step is to go to, for example, on our, so this let's go back to the slide. Second part of the process will be for the project approver or my manager to assign a manager of the project. So then we will have a project manager, and the project manager will have to update some project details. So let's go back to Teams. We can do that, and we will do that using the step 3 of my project in Teams. So no need to go somewhere else. I stay in Teams, and here I have an example of very simple but very effective Power Apps application. And from here, my manager can go and choose the project, and he is able to choose a new project manager for this project, for example. And here it is. It is as simple as that. And I love to say that even a manager can do that with a very simple application like that. In this demo, I stay in the apps, but obviously I change my role here in the demo, and imagine that I am no longer the project approver or the manager, but I am now I take the role of my project leader, my project manager. And so as a new project manager, I can use the exact same application with a second option, or maybe in real life, it will be a second application. It depends of how you handle project in your company, in fact. Here I have a full list of all my project. I want to choose the one I have just created and I have just updated. I want to select some items. And for example, here I can say, okay, the project will start not today, but on Monday, for example. That's cool. And probably it will take 10 days, but maybe we will add 2 days, because we know that this time it's sometimes difficult to get some new PC because of COVID and things like that. Interesting thing is that at this time, we don't know the actual days used by the project, but at the end, we will get this information, and we will be able to update this information and to put it here in this field. So here I have recorded my information, and then I can go to the next step of my process. So next step is to start an analysis of this data. And in the first step of my process, I have generated some data, and even more interested. Each time I run the process, it's more and more interesting. And I can report this data using a Power BI report. And the very cool thing is that I can create some alerts on Power BI. So you can, we will see that in a few seconds, how to generate some alert in Power BI. And this alert can be can stay in Power BI, or you can send email, but which is much more efficient. You can create alerts directly into Teams, and we will show that. So next part of the process demo is to show Power BI and Teams integration. So let's go back. We go to step 4. And step 4, our process, is to go to a Power BI dashboard. Here we can see, obviously, Power BI directly embedded in my Teams channel, which is quite cool. I can see that this is a fully operational and dynamic Power BI report. And for example, here I have a number on the red square, which is the max number of days a project is pending before a project manager has been assigned. And we can say that if a project waits, so it has been accepted by the management, but at some point we don't have, for example, the resource to put a project manager on it. So that can be a very challenging issue for the organization. So I can use this information to create an alert, and this is exactly what I do. If I want, I could put this alert, I can send this alert by email, but here definitely I want to use Teams, so I can as well send this type of alerts. And for example, this one was generated a few days ago. So in this alert, I can put a link to the dashboard. And the very interesting thing about Teams is that here I can say, hey, hello, Mr. Test. Do you understand? So you can comment and you can have a discussion on the reason why this number is so bad. Okay, that's it. So yes, this is the whole process we have shown. So the cool thing about this process is that you can find some detailed instruction to recreate very similar process in the documentation, and here is a link. So how to integrate with Teams? To finish my session, I would say that we can generate and we can create approval flow exactly the way we have seen, but by default, adaptive cards are creating emails. So they send emails to get information approval to the manager. But with very little effort, you can do the exact same stuff with a message in Teams. This is what we have seen in the demonstration. So the option, to summarize the option, we can integrate Power Platform and Teams. We can add Power Apps as a tab, but as personal app as well. If you have a look on your left bar here, for example, here I have a CRA application which is a Power Apps application that can be available exactly at the same level as the standard Teams icon, and you can deploy like that very important application in your organization. This is called Personal App in Teams. It's very easy to create a Power Apps and to add it in Teams and to have it on the left bar. We have seen that Power BI in Teams can be embedded as a tab, and we have seen that we can create posts in Teams for alert message or for adaptive counts, and you can also use the Flow app directly embedded in Teams to manage your flow. We have seen as well that, in fact, a Power BI alert can trigger a message into Teams. And this is an overview of the approval flow we used with adaptive counts, generating no email. In fact, I have still some emails in this picture, but you can remove them as well if you want really to have zero email interaction. Because here I have still in this picture an email sent to the creator of the approval to say, okay, your message had been shared or had been accepted or not. Okay, more on adaptive cards. A very important thing is data sources. You should be aware that this is a very powerful way to connect your Power Apps with anything. So you have many connectors, and you have here a very interesting link to connect to have very deep information about the connector. So the most important thing about connector is to know if it's a premium connector, then you need a special license, or if it's a standard connector, you can use the standard license. And that's it. To conclude my last slide, we have been in the old days with a very big SharePoint and some additional tools, but nowadays SharePoint is a little bit older, and we have some more powerful tool to help around SharePoint. Thank you, Nati.
So, Patrick, thank you very much. As always, it was very interesting. I would like to thank you in my name and in all of the community members. And I hope that we will see in next years, maybe in physical session or something like that.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. I will